Hello everyone, my name is Chris and this video is my answer to many questions I've received about how I organize my floss. Recently I shared some work in progress photos in a few Facebook groups and some of you noticed a box with my floss packs and wanted to know more about it. So in this video I hope I can answer your questions. And if anything else comes to mind, feel free to ask in the comments. I would also like to say thank you so much for your interest. I really didn't expect that, and it means a lot. My stitching isn't anything extraordinary, so it's very kind of you to be curious about my process. Before I begin, I also want to mention one important thing. This is simply my way of doing things, and I'm not trying to convince anyone that this is the right way, because there is no right way, as we all know. We all have different preferences and workflows, and that's completely okay. I'm just sharing what works for me because some of you asked, and I'm always happy to share ideas. Please don't feel like I'm suggesting this is the only way, far from it. I keep all my threads in these small packs. They are inexpensive to make and they work very well for me. In the past I used bobbins, but I quickly stopped because I didn't find them very convenient. I also tried floss drops, but I didn't like how the threads hang down and collect dust. For me, they felt a bit messy and harder to manage. These packs give me a level of organization that feels just right. They are simple, tidy, and easy to use. Of course, this system won't be for everybody, but maybe you will find something useful here for yourself. Let me start by explaining why I like this system and also mention a few downsides. First, all the threads are pre-cut and very easy to access. If I need a color, I don't have to open anything or unwind floss. I just pick up a strand with my needle and I'm ready to stitch. It's also great for blending colors. You simply take one strand from each pack. Second, I keep all my colors in one place. It doesn't matter if I'm working on one project or several projects, everything is organized together and I just pick the color I need. The threads are protected in small plastic bags, they don't hang loose, they stay clean and I can easily see the color numbers. Everything fits neatly into one box, which makes storage very convenient. Whenever I buy new colors, I just prepare new packs and add them to the collection. This system also works well whether you stitch with 1 or 2 strands or even more. And if you travel, you can simply take the colors you need with you. As for downsides, preparing everything does take a bit of time at the beginning, especially if you're switching from bobbins. Preparing around 80 colors took me 2 evenings, but honestly once it was done, it made stitching so much easier that it was completely worth it. Also, if you prefer very long threads, this method might not be ideal unless you adjust it. I usually cut my threads to about 50 centimeters, which is about 19 inches. When I stitch with 2 strands, I fold one strand in half to use the loop start, which gives me about 25 centimeters or 9 inches of working length. But if I need a longer thread for larger areas, I simply take 2 strands instead. Each of them is 50 centimeters, so I have 50 centimeters of working length. For me personally, the benefits definitely outweigh the drawbacks. Here you can see the box and a few additional tools. When I need a thread, I simply pick the color and use my needle to pull out one strand. It comes out easily, but it's important to pull one strand at a time, even if you need to, because pulling multiple strands can sometimes cause tangling inside the pack. After that, I either put the pack back into the box right away or keep a few colors out while I stitch. At the end of the session, I return everything to its place in numerical order. Sometimes I don't even take the pack out, I just pull the thread directly from the box. Now let me show you how I make these packs. You'll need regular copy paper, paper clips, scissors, something to write with, and small plastic zip bags. I think they are called zip bags. I'm not sure if it's the right word because I'm not an English native speaker. And of course you need threads. First I cut the paper. I fold a sheet into 4 parts and cut it, so each piece is about A6 size. I usually prepare more pieces in advance so I have them ready for future colors. Then I take one piece and fold it in half lengthwise. I open it again and fold both sides toward the middle. This creates 2 folded sections on both sides where the floss will go. Next I write the color number, always in the same spot so that when the packs are in the box, all the numbers are easy to see. Now it's time to prepare the thread. I find the end of the skein and gently pull the thread out to locate the other end, trying not to tangle it. Then I bring both ends together and fold the thread several times until I reach my desired length. I fold the thread this way exactly 4 times, which results in the thread length of 50 centimeters. After that, I cut the loops on both ends and now I have pre-cut floss. Now to assemble the pack, I open the paper and place one end of the floss on the left side and fold it over. Then I turn the floss around, place the other end on the right side and fold it as well. Try to keep the threads straight. If they twist, it's best to untwist them now, as it will make them easier to pull out later. Then I fold the paper closed, adjust the ends so they are even, and pull them gently so that the top rests neatly on the paper. Next, I fold the ends from the left side to the front and the ends from the right side to the back. It may look a bit complicated at first, but after making a few packs, it becomes very quick and easy. Now I place the pack into a zip bag. I fold any excess plastic and secure everything with a paper clip at the top. The zip helps keep the clip in place so everything stays neat and compact. And that's it. The pack is ready to go into the box. You might also wonder what I do with leftover thread. If it's very short, I throw it away, but if it's long enough to use, I keep it in a separate organizer. And this one is project specific. I made it using a piece of white foam board. I printed a chart with color numbers for a specific project and added symbols next to them. I created this chart in Google Spreadsheets. I put the numbers of the colors that I use for the project, and after printing it, I just drew the symbols. There's also space for needles. I attached everything to the foam with pins, and that's where I keep my leftover threads. When I'm stitching and I need a color, I first check this organizer, and if that color is not there, I take a new strand from my floss packs. One small drawback of this system is also the way that the packs are stored in the box. Well, it's not really a drawback, but maybe it's just lack of my creativity. As you can see, those floss packs are organized in rows in my box, but I had to figure out something to actually make them stand this way. To make them stand neatly, I used 2 pieces of foam board and I carved small channels in them. Then I inserted pieces of cardboard as dividers to keep the packs in place. It's a simple solution, not perfect, but it works for now. In the same box I also keep a few tools. I have pins here, paper clips, I have needles, and a needle holder that looks like a lipstick. It's not a lipstick. It actually has a magnet inside, which is very handy, and the needles don't fall out. I also keep a water-soluble marker for grading my fabric. I also have a snag repair needle, which is very handy sometimes. Here I have an embossing tool, which you may also know as a nail art tool. This is something that I use for applying masking fluid in my watercolor painting, but I also use it in cross stitching to separate the threads, but that's for maybe another video. I also have a piece of sponge in this little container. That's also for another video. I also have a needle threader, which I use only when the thread is really short and I have no patience to thread it, but I just have to make that one last stitch, and I'm sure that the thread is long enough to do this, although it's just 1 inch long. But you know, that one last stitch. And scissors, of course. I also have a little container for leftovers. I don't collect them, I just throw them away once in a while. Lastly, I'll show you where I stitch. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of space, so actually I stitch on my piano. I found this to be a great spot because I can leave everything there and come back to it whenever I like. The keyboard has a lid, and when I close it, I keep my box, my iPad with the pattern, and my leftover organizer on top. And that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer them. In the next video, I will try to show you my stitching method as soon as I figure out how to organize the recording setup. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching and happy stitching!